is my Bullitt 2001. I think it's only got like 60,000 miles on it. It's really dirty right now. The lady tried to, I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but a lady tried to pit maneuver me last night. So I figured I'd do a story time on my way home from work, because this lady was crazy. What's up, guys? We're gonna do a vlog today. But first, I gotta figure out how the hell I'm gonna get out of here, because they got me blocked. So, traffic is backed up, and everybody's trying to find different ways. There isn't any. So, story time. Right now I'm in my Mustang. It's an 01 Bullitt. I love the car very much. Don't drive it a lot. I think I've had it for 4 years, and I've maybe put 20,000 miles on it. But my E36 is down right now, so, and my truck is down, so I've been driving this. Well, the other night at about 8 o'clock or 8:30, I think it was 8 o'clock, I decided I was going to run down to Dollar General and get some coffee and sugar, because I was out and I don't do mornings without it. So Dollar General is maybe a mile down the road. So I run down there, get what I need to get, come out, heading home. I'm on the street that I live on, which is 4 lanes with a turning lane in the center. So it's 2 lanes going either direction with a turning lane in the center. As we're coming up the road, I'm passing, it's either a Kia Optima or a Hyundai Sonata, something like a little 4-door car, right? As I'm passing this car, we're also coming up on a bunch of emergency vehicles. There was a wreck on the opposite side of the road. So from the turning lane to the opposite side of the road is blocked. But for our 2 lanes, it's straight. It's clear. There's nobody there. I'm in the far right lane. She's in the left lane. I am almost past her. Her front bumper is at my driver's side door, so her headlight was probably about right here. Okay. All of a sudden, I feel, actually I hear, BAM! And it was loud. And all of a sudden the whole car went sideways like I was being pit maneuvered. And so I was only doing like 35, so I nailed the brakes. I come to a stop. And I'm like, what the hell? And I look over and she's sitting there and she has a blinker on and her front end's messed up. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So I'm cussing. So I pull over into the turning lane, and she pulls in behind me, and I get out of the car, and she gets out, and before I could even say, I'm looking at my car, and before I could even say anything, well, that is dangerous. Before I could even say anything, she's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm going home. What are you doing?" And she said, "Why did you hit me?" "I didn't hit you, lady. You merged into my lane. Who had the blinker on? Have you been drinking?" "No." But as soon as she said that, I could smell the alcohol on her breath. And I was like, "Oh, no, but maybe we should both go ahead and do sobriety tests just so we know that I haven't been drinking and you haven't been drinking." Well, then she's like, "I haven't been drinking. I work for an insurance company. I work for Liberty Mutual as a claims agent. This is what I do. So we don't need to get the cops involved. Let me just get your information because you're going to have to pay for this." And I was like,
Hell to the no, to the no, 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 no. Hell no, no, to the no, no. Hell to the no, no, to the no, 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 no. Hell to the no, no, to the no, no, no.
"No, that's not going to happen." So they'll be back. So I walked up. It was only what, a couple hundred feet to the other wreck where there was already all the emergency stuff, and the police officer was there. And I said, "Hey man, we just had another wreck. A lady cut me off, merged into me basically." And so he told us to pull into the parking lot there next to us, and he'd be down there in a second. So I walk back down. She's in her car, tapping the window. She rolls it down. Said, "He wants us to pull over there." She huffs and rolls her window up. I get in the car, pull over there. She pulls over there and pulls up next to me. Well, I'm looking for my insurance. I have insurance, but I can't find my piece of paper. So she comes over, gets me out of the car, and she's like, "There's no reason to get the cops involved. I'm 35 and I've never been in an accident. I've never had a ticket. I've never been in trouble for anything." Saying I'm 35. I've never been in a wreck. I've never had a ticket. I've never been in trouble. I don't want to turn this into my insurance. There's no reason to get anybody involved. I'll just pay for this out of pocket. Just give me your number. We'll exchange phone numbers, and then whenever you get an estimate, just let me know and I'll pay for it. I have a friend that can fix this, no problem, for probably $500, so we can just do that." And I was like, "No, that I'm not using no shade tree on this car, blah 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 blah. I don't know nobody. We're turning this in. You're gonna pay for this car." So she gets all huffy, and I said, "Let's switch information." So we go to exchange information, and the cop pulls up. And right when the cop pulled up, he took our information. So he goes and sits in the car with all our information, and I'm sitting there waiting. And she's sitting in her car. He gets done, he gets out. He walks over to her window first, talks to her about something. I hear her yell, and then he turns to walk towards me, and she just takes off. And I was like, "Damn, I didn't get her information." So he walks over, and I was like, "Man, I didn't get to exchange information." And he's like, "It's all going to be on the police report." I was like, "Cool." So I went home. Long story short, I turned it in. She's gonna pay. Her insurance better pay. If not, I'm suing the ever living crap out of them. But I really thought my 2020 was done, and it wasn't. 2020 started out for me with my truck getting stolen. I got the truck back, but it's damaged, so I haven't been able to drive it right after that, I guess starting in October, I went to the ER for kidney pain. They couldn't find anything. I missed 2 days worth of work. Went to work the next day, hurt my back, threw my back out, missed like a week of work. The very next week came back and was trying to break a lock ring loose on a fuel pump on a matrix. I was trying to hold the tank still while a buddy broke the ring loose, and something shifted inside my rib cage. I don't know, I've never felt that before. And so as I go to stand up, I'm like, oh, something ain't right. Oh, it hurts to breathe, it hurts to move. And as the day went on, this was first thing in the morning, as the day went on, it got worse. So I wake up the next day and I'm like, I can't move. And so I call out again, and I call my chiropractor, go see him. He puts it back into place. I feel good. I go to work for 2 days. I'm at home 2 evenings later, and I cough really hard, and I feel that same rib shift again. And I was like, oh my goodness, this time I really couldn't breathe. Like, it was twice as bad. And I was almost curled up in the fetal position, and I'm like, this is intense. So I went to Vanderbilt, and they did x-rays, and sure enough, I had a rib out of place, and it had hit the muscle or something, rubbed the muscle. Anyways, they put it back, and so I was sore for 2 days, didn't go to work. So while I'm home, I wake up in the middle of the night and with kidney pain and pelvic pain and pass a kidney stone. And I'm like, damn. So then I get back to work. I work maybe 4 days. My grandmother, who was fighting brain cancer, found that out this year too, calls me, and she's wanting to stop her treatment, and she wants to just go on and pass and go be with my grandfather, who died probably 15 years ago or something. And so she wanted to tell me goodbye over the phone, and I'm like, that ain't gonna happen. So I made her promise to hold on long enough for me to get to her and see her. She lives 9 hours away in Virginia. I'm in Nashville. So I worked the whole day, got off work, hit the interstate, went down there, hung out with her for 1 day, and then the next morning, while I was sitting there with her, she stopped breathing and passed away. And that was the day before my birthday. So then I get up on my birthday and my back is out. Then I get some pain medication from my aunt, who lives in Virginia, and that way I'm able to walk with my back hurting. And anyways, the day after my birthday, or 2 days after my birthday, we buried her. And then I came back to town that night, drove through the night, and I woke up the next morning to go to work and felt like I'd been hit by a truck. And I thought I got a cold from where I drove back with the windows down in the middle of the night in cold weather. And so I called my boss. I'm like, dude, I don't know what's going on. He's like, well, you're gonna need a COVID test before you can come back. So I said, okay. So I chilled that day. The next day, I'm still hurt, sore throat, can't breathe, body aches, top to bottom, headache, and I'm like, man, I feel like crap. So I'm gonna run down, I'm gonna get a test. So I get up in the morning, I go down, I get my coffee started, I go back upstairs, finish getting ready, come downstairs to get ready to leave, and I don't smell coffee. And that's one of the great things about in the morning after you start your coffee. I usually get about halfway down the stairs and I can smell it, and I'm like, oh yeah. And I'm like, crap, did I forget to turn my coffee maker back on? Or turn my coffee maker on? Start it. And I get down there, nope, full pot of coffee, it's made, it's steaming, I can't smell it. That's when I was like, uh-oh. I ran upstairs. I grabbed some shampoo that's in the shower. It's like coconut or something, right? Pop the cap on that sucker. nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I'm like, that's so weird. You know, I've had stuffy noses before where you can't breathe real well and you can't smell real well. But there was nothing, no hint, no nothing. So I basically knew right then I had COVID. I went, I got tested. Sure enough, got COVID. So I had to miss like 3 weeks of work. And my boss told me to go back and get tested again. Went back, still failed. Because you're gonna fail for like 2 to 3 months later afterwards. And that's a whole nother story we're not getting into. So I waited a couple days and then went back to retest the same place while I'm sitting in line, because it's one where you go in your car talking to the girl, and all of a sudden, boom! And now I'm in the Beamer, the E36. Steam just starts rolling out both sides of the hood. You got to be kidding me. I get out, I open the hood, I look, and a coolant a heater hose connector at the firewall had broke in half. Lost all my coolant. So, and it wasn't running hot. I have fans on. So, anyways, I go up, I get the car in a parking lot up behind their tent or whatever, and luckily the girl was cool. She's like, I'll come meet you up there and do your test. So she comes up there and she's like, I've seen you down here before, just like your 3rd time, right? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, why do you keep taking a test? And I was like, my boss won't let me come back without a negative test. She's like, that's not going to happen for like 2 or 3 months. Your employers are not supposed to require you anymore to have a negative test because of this. And the government, or you can get a doctor to send a letter. It's a whole thing. I was like, well, either way, I need to go back to work. I haven't been to work in like 2 months. I maybe worked, what, a week and 2 months. So she said, I got you. And she does just the tip of my nose. She doesn't go all the way up like they've been doing, just the tip of my nose, so I could get a negative. She's like, it'll be negative. So, but then I had to sit there for 3 hours in freezing weather, waiting on a tow truck. Then when I went to get this car, my Bullitt, it's having issues. It's got an idle air control valve that's making it run funny and making a bunch of noise and stuff. I'm surprised it's not acting up right now. But I was like, man, 2020 just can't stop. My grandparents, not the grandmother that died I was talking about, but my other grandparents that I was actually staying with when I was there, they got COVID. My grandfather's 88. He does not need to have COVID. My grandmother was having trouble breathing, so I'm like, geez, man, you know what I mean? Like, is 2020 gonna be over? I get word that they're feeling better. I ordered the parts to fix my Beamer. I ordered the part to fix this car. I got all the parts to fix my truck. Everything's cool. We're gonna make it through this year. Bloom. Then I go to Dollar General the other night and, you know, get hit. The lady hit me, and I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, really? 2020 is definitely not over yet. So it is what it is. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Appreciate you hanging around, watching the video. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification button, and watch me when I make this next video.